may be tough, but the comeback should be stronger. This adage defines every woman achiever who has stood her ground and toiled across a collage of challenges to make her mark in her chosen field of expertise. Namaste, this is Ashrita, welcoming you to Super Stree, an initiative by Suchitra Academy to celebrate the women who continue to redefine womanhood by their choices and beliefs. On our first episode, we have Ms. Kausar Sayeed, an experienced educator with a demonstrated history in the National Core Committee Early Childhood Association. She is the founder director of Learn to Read Services, which is a research-based mentoring, consulting and training company that works towards constant upgradation to meet the educational needs of the rapidly changing and challenging society. Here's a short AV of her journey.
Born to a humble joint family in Hyderabad, Ms. Kausar Sayeed moved to Saudi Arabia in her early childhood with her parents. A dearth of good Indian schools led Ms. Kausar and her siblings to be homeschooled by their mother until senior secondary. In spite of living away from their parent country India, Ms. Kausar's parents ensured that they remained connected to their roots. Ms. Sayeed's point of inspiration was her father, who was a chemist. St. Anne's Women's Degree College saw Ms. Kausar spend valuable time with her professor, Ms. Radhika. But destiny had a different plan. After graduating in chemistry, Ms. Kausar was motivated to become an educator like her mother, a decision that became the turning point for her. Ms. Kausar's stint at Ghulam Ahmed College of Education uncovered a whole new world for her, where she learned about the science of teaching. The classroom became her laboratory to formulate new pedagogies based on simple teaching methodologies. Ms. Kausar's flair for elementary education cemented her faith in becoming a change maker. She started her own school, Prime Years, a venture that brought in awards and recognitions. Her quest and endeavors led her to become a mentor in the importance of skill upgradation for teachers and curriculum development for schools. Ms. Kausar used the elements of early childhood effectively and soon founded Learn to Lead, and Nature School was her first consultancy project. Ms. Kausar has also been the head of the National Core Committee of Early Childhood Association. Truly a woman of wonder, Ms. Kausar Sayeed continues to set and meet milestones with patience, resilience and a strong sense of responsibility, which remain the cornerstones of her journey, making her a global ambassador for her chosen cause, children. Her unique journey was recognized through awards from UNICEF, the Times of India and the Early Childhood Association.
Namaste. Thank you for being with us, ma'am. We're honored to have you here. My first question is, can you tell us about an experience in your life that has changed your beliefs instantly?
Life, experience, change, belief, and instantly. 5 powerful words in one question. So let me first start by telling you what was my belief. I have a strong belief of purpose in life. I feel there is some purpose that we need to find in everything that we do. And when you talk about an experience that was life-changing for me, so there was not one incident that had an impact on this belief of mine. And of course, I don't believe in instant culture. You know, we over the time we have anyhow figured out that even Maggi noodles we can't cook instantly in 2 minutes. So I'm more of a belief of an organic way of things in life. And that's where I would say that there was not one experience but many experiences which could have broken that belief, but over the time the way I took each of those incidences, it made that belief stronger. So the first was that, I was very interested and, I was very passionate about studying chemistry. But then over the period of time after my graduation, my mother, at that point, you can say, forced me into taking education. Of course, that would have broken my belief, but it strengthened my belief in my that we are here for a purpose. And that time I did not know my purpose, which was my purpose was children, and my way of doing it is impacting education. And that was my first experience, and many other experiences after that with children. In my own ways, I have lost children, and all those things even strengthened my belief that I'm here for a purpose called children through education.
That was truly insightful, ma'am, and I completely agree with you. So moving on, my next question is, when you initially started your company, Learn to Lead, what were your main objectives?
Now, in my stages of my work in previously, even before Learn to Lead, there were two stages. The stage one was when I was educating myself to be an educator, and the second stage where I was conducting myself to be an educator through the teacher training program and the school that I did. In both of those stages, I understood that when I was doing my education as a teacher, there was so much inside the curriculum itself which was not discovered or not used inside the classrooms. So I could very clearly see that there is a disconnect between the theory and the practicals that is happening. And because I as a student did not experience any of that in the classroom. So I somehow felt that there was a disconnect between both of them. And the second stage of my life where I had my own school, and that's where I found a second challenge. When there is an independent school, there are a lot of challenges that they face in terms of resources. The resources are not easily available to them. Resources in the form of people, expertise in certain fields, and those two stages got me into the third stage of building Learn to Lead, where I thought that I can bring about some programs and some upskilling programs for teachers which help them connect the theories into the classrooms, and of course going back to my purpose, that's children, and by bettering the quality of education, and also supporting new schools in the form of consulting and mentoring that we do at Learn to Lead.
Yes, that's interesting to know, ma'am. So, are you close to achieving these goals, or have you already achieved this objective?
I would say I have achieved these goals, but then, all of these goals, success or milestones are relative in terms of that stage of life. So the minute you feel you have achieved, then you're on another goal. So the ones which were there at the beginning, I have achieved somewhere, but there are more goals which are yet to be achieved.
And wishing you all the best for
Thank
that,
you.
ma'am. Moving on, ma'am. What, according to you, is a significant lesson from your journey that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, there are two important lessons, I would say. The first one is keep going. Now, I've taken most of the lessons of my life from nature and from children. So when you see water, stagnant water, it is dirty water. It gets dirty. So if you want the water to be fresh, and it has to be moving. Moving water is fresh. That's the same rule that applies to life. You have to keep moving. The things that we talk about, problems, hurdles, challenges, it's a part of life. They are not there to stop you. You have to keep moving. So it's the first important lesson that I've learned in my life. And the second important lesson is trust. We need to have a little more trust in everything. We have become too doubtful about everything today, and we go on researching and checking before taking every small step. So we need to be more trusting so that we make more friends, we live a little more life, trust the process. So these two lessons, I would say, have been important in my life.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you empower yourself?
Empower. So I would say that, there are two terms or two stages in which you live your daily life. It is focus and unfocus. When you are at work, focus. When you are not at work, unfocus. So quickly and focus, zoom out. You understand better when I would use the term zooming out. So zoom out, leave everything, forget everything, have your me time. That me time can be anything which you like, eat something which you wanted to, watch a movie, do anything you want. Just have a me time for yourself.
Yes, that's nice to hear, ma'am. So, ma'am, what skills do you think are utmost important for children like myself during their initial years?
Some of the skills I would take from when I was a teenager is importance of expression, self-expression. I see most of the children are not expressing themselves clearly. That unless you express, you cannot get what you want. A clear expression of your emotions, of your ideas, your objectives, your goals, your needs is very important. And children need to express. That's the first important skill, I would say, was useful to me and should be useful to all of you as well. The second important skill, I would say, is taking responsibilities. You have to take responsibility of everything that you do. Responsibility of your failures, responsibility of your success also. Success also comes with a cost, right? It's not that you get it once and it's done. It's a process. And failure also. So we need to take responsibility of everything that you do and move forward with that. I see children taking an escapist attitude towards things. I would not say just children, everyone else. Exit doors are meant for emergencies, not for a daily routine. So we need to take responsibility of every word, every act, everything that we do in life. So these two important skills I feel children should learn. Self-expression, a clear self-expression, and the act of taking responsibility.
Yes, I completely agree with you, ma'am. Moving on, what is one advice you would give to the Stree that still haven't found themselves?
Value yourself. I have seen that many women are in a race to find the best other person. There is no comparison or there is no demarcation between a woman who is at work and achieves something which is visibly seen. There are some achievements which you can visibly see, and there are some achievements which may not be visibly seen, but still they are contributing. Like we have very clearly demarcated a woman to be a homemaker or working woman, but I don't understand that demarcation.
Yes.
A woman who is at home is also taking a responsibility of giving, nurturing a life. That's also a contribution, a huge contribution. So they need to value that, and we need to value the women who are working. We need to value what we are doing. So valuing yourself, your work is very important. Self-worth, understanding their worth, and everything else will follow after that. And again, women also have to communicate their needs very clearly. We sometimes think that people will understand. We live in a delusion of maybe an understanding without words, but it doesn't happen. You need to find your self-worth, you need to value yourself, and you need to communicate your needs very clearly in words to people. Life doesn't come again. So a clear communication of your needs to be able to live your life full is important.
Yes. Lastly, ma'am, what is one advice you would give to the coming generation in order to achieve their goals?
Keep moving. I mean, we always think about that life is going to get tougher, 21st century skills are needed, but I always believe, there are some basic things which will always be there. Be human, be empathetic, be resilient, be a problem solver. Everything else will fall into place.
Yes. Thank you for the insightful conversation, ma'am. We're honored to have you and thank you for being with us. Namaste.